Joe Hopkins here, and like it says, the best beginner guitar. This is what I would consider one of the best beginner guitars. It is a Yamaha C40. And, just to let you know, real quick, this is an old guitar. It has kind of old strings on it if it sounds a bit dull. I would have put new strings on it, but it's not my guitar. It's my wife's guitar, and I'll change the strings when and if she tells me it's time to change the strings. You know what I mean? It's her guitar, it's her decision, that kind of thing. She wants old strings, that's fine. Sorry if the microphone's a little bit in the way there, right? I'm not using my lapel mic today because this doesn't plug in. This is all acoustic, you know? So, why do I say this is the best beginner guitar? Well, first of all, it's a very good beginner guitar. Let me get my little thing over here. There we go. I got a chair I can put my foot on there. It's a very good beginner guitar, and it's the most popular beginner guitar. When I took guitar class as a teenager, the class had a bunch of these for use for the class, right? When you take a guitar class, guitar teachers, they buy a bunch of, usually, Yamahas. These are the ones you saw in every guitar class, because I think back then they were like $90 a piece, 80 or 90. Now that's like 120, like new. I think Yamaha still makes a version of the C40, but these old C40s are available. You can get them anywhere, usually for under $100. They're pretty cheap. Yamaha made a ton of them. They made a ton of them for guitar classes. Schools bought these like crazy. It's nylon strings, There you go. Nylon strings, classical guitar. Yeah, incredibly popular. They sold a ton of them, and they sound good. Yeah, I'm playing with my fingers, classical style there. Trying to remember how it goes. Something like like Greensleeves. I can't remember how it goes now. It's been a while. All right, so you're not here to watch me fiddle around and try to remember songs that I used to know. You want to see, how does this sound? Well, first of all, I'm playing with my finger pads because I haven't grown my nails out for classical guitar in years. And obviously I haven't played classical guitar in years. I can't remember how anything goes. But, you can hear it sounds. You can hear it sounds pretty good. And of course, if you want to play with a pick, you can, Yeah, you can. But if you take a guitar class, they're going to teach you all the proper finger positions and all that kind of stuff, And, why is it such a good beginner guitar? Well, one, it's affordable, right? And these hold up really well over time. Obviously, this is an old one. My wife originally got this so that we could play classical guitar duets. I have a Franciscan classical. She got this one from my brother. My brother took music in college and had to do a guitar class, bought this for it, and then didn't use it ever again. Gave it to my wife to so we could do duets in church and stuff like that. And, obviously it's held up well over the years. Hey, it's quite old. Not ancient or anything, but I'd say it's over 20 years old now. And, it still sounds good, still plays good. Yeah. And a nice thing about them, classical guitars have a wider neck. Nylon strings. It makes it easier to get all the finger positions with the wider neck. The strings are a little bit further apart so you can get, you have more room. get everything nice and clear so everything rings out. Nylon strings are easier on the fingers. Definitely a good type of guitar to learn on. And being acoustic, you don't need an amp, you know? So there it is. And like I said, they're available and affordable. You can find these anywhere, and a lot of times, like I said, for under $100, even if they're lightly used, which this one is not lightly used. And honestly, they continue to be good guitars as you progress as a musician. These don't really, you don't outgrow this thing. I still play it now. And in fact, we've recorded with it. My wife wrote a bunch of gospel songs back in the day, and we recorded several albums. This was the primary acoustic guitar that we used. And, you know, these are albums that, it wasn't just an ego project. They got played on the radio. I believe they're still played on some radio stations in Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, the Carolinas, down south, right, where gospel music is still pretty popular. So I recorded with this. I recorded well enough with this for something to be considered worthy of radio airplay, you know? So it's not like this is just a beginner's guitar. And we recorded with this one because my wife likes the way it sounds. The rhythm on the, you know, she likes that rhythm on the classical guitar and likes the way it sounds for a lot of things. And so do I. Honestly, classical guitars have a nice sound, and this particular one has a pretty nice sound. And the nice thing about these Yamahas, you know they're going to stand up over time because these things get beat up. Like I said, schools buy them, and they get a ton of use, and they still hold up just fine over time. So a lot of times I'll do a look at a guitar a year, 2 years, 3 years after I buy it. How's it held up? Because I play my guitars. How do they hold up over time? This one I could tell you has held up just fine over 20 years of pretty steady use. Like I said, my brother bought it when he was majoring in music. He had to take a guitar class, and he used it a lot in class. Gave it to my wife, and she has played it a ton over the years. This is her primary instrument. We played gigs with it, a lot of gigs. We've done a lot of recording with it. We've done every possible thing with this guitar, and it still plays, sounds, feels just fine, other than being a little beat up. All the frets are still just fine. Everything is as it should be. All it has is just wear, and most of that's on the wood. There are nicks, scratches, you know, rub marks. It's pretty well, but a couple stickers, you know. It's pretty well beat up, and still plays just fine. Easy to do bar chords. All right, so there we go. Little edit there. My kid had to come in to tell me she's done playing outside. So anyway, kids do that. It's fine. Little interruption. Yeah, like I said, excellent guitar for beginners, for intermediate players, or even for advanced players, right? Honestly, there's nothing wrong with this thing. And it's also, I like it for the finger picking stuff. Yeah, I need to practice that a little bit more. I haven't for a while, but it works really well on this because, once again, plenty of room between the strings, so it's easier to, you know, not accidentally touch the strings, that you don't want to. You're not accidentally muting things quite as often. Anyway, that's my review on a rather well-used Yamaha C40. If you're interested in getting a classical guitar, or you're just starting, or you want to buy one for a nephew or a kid, a niece, that kind of thing, somebody who's just starting out, I'd recommend one of these. Go to a pawn shop, see if you can find one. Go to a music store, see if they have one secondhand. Reverb, eBay, they're all over the place. They're not hard to find. They're easy to play. And they sound pretty good, in my opinion. Good enough to play gigs with and record with and everything else. Like I said, I've done all those things with this guitar. And it looks pretty good, too. I like the way guitars look when they're well used. This thing, the more beat up it gets, the more it looks like the kind of instrument that's been used a lot and loved a lot. So, and we love this thing. It's like I said, my wife's primary instrument. This is her guitar. Everybody has, even if you have a collection, you have the guitar that's your guitar, right? This is hers. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the review. Hit subscribe. Take a look around, see if you can find you one, and I'll see you all in the next video. I love you guys. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.